So good morning, guys. It is 11:18 on Friday, the 10th of March 2023, and let's just have a look and see how things are going today. So we're looking at the Vanguard S&P 500. Let me just stretch that a little bit so that you can see the movement a bit better. So for today, you can see there's been a fairly significant downturn this morning, down near enough 3%. And as you can see, compared to this time last week, actually there's been more of a fall today than in the last week. The only positive showing here compared to the comparison today is this day 3 months ago and this day a year ago, and really there's very little to be said about those figures. So now, as I say, that is Friday today. Sometimes we seem to see a slight dip on a Friday, probably more in the region of 1%. We wouldn't normally see 3% as an indicator of a weekend coming up. However, it does present us with an opportunity to dollar cost average. So there are some notifications outstanding here. Let's just have a look through those to see what's in it. DBK Deutsche Bank down 9% as the banking sector tumbles following SVB turmoil. So I'm not aware of that, whatever that is. SVB, not sure. Okay. Hot update, biggest stocks before earnings, DocuSign, Oracle I've heard of. Givo, don't know. Gap, I think is probably Gap Clothing. Lion Electric, not too sure. High volatility, Asana soars 25% as CEO plans to buy up to $700 million worth of shares. I don't know what Asana is. That's a massive jump. I mean, it is good to see a CEO, as you might say, putting their money where their mouth is, but I don't know. I mean, how easy would it not be to announce that you were going to buy all these shares, to do that, to see the price pushed up, and then gradually start offloading them. I'm a bit skeptical. However, MongoDB drops 5% as weak guidance overshadows strong earnings. Etsy, and I have used Etsy once. Etsy takes a hit, 5% down on double downgrade by Jeffries, citing buyer churn. No idea what they're talking about there. It's only a 5% fluctuation. It's nothing really to be concerned about. Credit Suisse down 5%, delaying annual report after last minute SEC call. Interesting. I don't know what an SEC call is, and I am a bit surprised at what I would regard as a bank. Credit Suisse, as far as I know, is a bank, or certainly a financial institution. I would be surprised at them having to delay their annual report. I'd be interested to know what happens there, what's going on. So, information: daylight savings time starts in the United States on Sunday the 12th of March. So in 2 days time, daylight savings time will start in the US. From session opening on Monday, March the 13th until session close on Friday the 24th of March, US markets will open and close 1 hour earlier. So I'm assuming that British summertime continues for a further 10 days or so, longer than oh sorry, we're on UTC at the minute, aren't we? We're on GMT. So daylight. Yeah, so British summertime doesn't start, in my opinion, until sort of 10 days after it starts in the US. That's what I think we're being told there. So rather than US markets opening at 2:30 and closing at 9 o'clock, they'll be opening at 1:30 and closing at 8 o'clock for that sort of 10 days or thereabouts. Biggest stocks before earnings. This is a couple of days ago. Fuel Cell Energy. Paysafe, is that? Paysail? I don't know. JD.com. Asana. Mongo. Some of the same names that we had seen mentioned just above. High volatility. Tesla under pressure, down 3% following Berenberg downgrade, citing less room for disappointment. I'm not sure what they're getting at there. 3%, I mean, it's hardly worth talking about. Maxion Solar Technology sourced 35% after revenue beat for quarter 4. So that's quite a hike. I don't know the name of the company. Obviously it conjures up images of solar cells and that kind of thing, just by the name, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. But that's quite a hike. High volatility. Continental gains 5% on rising profitability as automotive sector recovers. Okay, well, it's good to see mention of recovery. For quite a while there was talk in the press about the value of second-hand cars had appeared to have risen because of a lack of new cars being manufactured. So if things are starting to recover, that's good. Unfortunately, it's not so good if you're trying to sell a second-hand car, but that's, to be honest, that's rarely my situation. The vehicles that I have or have had, I usually drive them into the ground. I usually keep driving them until the mechanic, until they're in to get something done with the mechanic, and he rings me up and says, this is terminal, it's going to cost more to fix this than what I think it's worth. So at that point then I have to go and find another one. I don't know if it's of any interest to people, but I typically find that I'm scrapping my cars once they hit 14 years old. It just seems to be that at that point things start to go wrong one after another. So yeah, anyway, coming back to the portfolio, let's get on and invest our weekly £120 into the S&P 500 from Vanguard, shown here on the Trading212 Practice account, and just looking to see, so we're going to be buying about 1.9 shares. The current average price is 62.6699. Current price is lower than that, so we may be able to do a little bit of dollar cost averaging, although probably not much. The actual portfolio result is down about 1.2% as things stand. So let's send it through and we'll see if it updates. Current portfolio value, just for reference, 5691. Let's pop that through. Okay, order placed, order executed. Let's see if we update here. We did, thankfully. So we have the updated portfolio value 5811. Updated average price 62.65. So literally about a 1 penny difference there after that. And no real change on the return as things stand. Not particularly surprising. Oh yeah, just a little anecdote about the benefit of having an emergency fund. Basically, yesterday morning I discovered that my heating was not working. My central heating, it's a kerosene boiler that I have, and it's an old one. There's a date on it, 2004. Now there is some sort of a grant type scheme available through the local government organisation that administers that, a social housing scheme. Quite honestly, I'm not really sure just how beneficial it is. I mean, I did get some paperwork out about it. The paperwork was, quite frankly, too complicated for me to complete personally. I would have needed whoever was going to be doing the replacement to to fill that in. As I say, it's technical. So anyway, yeah, long story short, I had a guy out yesterday. You probably gathered already from what I said, but I've had a guy out yesterday, had a look at it. The existing thing is banjaxed. To replace it and get rid of the old one, I'm being told roughly £1,900. And from the information that I've found online and so on, that sounds about right. So that's what's happening. Now, in all fairness, I was already intending on changing the system whenever the weather improved, probably in another month or two. But as it's not working now, and the guy that's had a look at it says that isn't worth fixing. In fact, it as it stands, it could actually be dangerous. So he's, I mean, obviously he wants to get the work to replace it, but that's what he's recommending on a safety point of view anyway. Yeah, just like that, from one day to the next, there's £1,900 I'm going to be having to pay out. Thankfully, my emergency fund was in good health, and that £1,900 is there. It will be able to be paid out to have this heating system replaced with a brand new shiny new one. And the new one should be quite a bit more efficient on fuel than the one that I had. So there's that's a good thing. That should hopefully keep my my running costs down. Not to say that it'll pay for itself. These things never do, sure they don't, but at least if if I can reduce my spend on fuel a little bit, that's no bad thing. So yeah, I'm really pleased that I had the emergency fund in place. Not looking forward so much to having to rebuild it, and particularly as this is a sort of an expensive time of year for me. From the point of view that I've got TV license being paid by direct debit automatically next month, I think, and as well as that, over here in Northern Ireland, the rates come out around about this time of year as well. So between one thing and another, it's going to be looking pretty painful for a couple of months. But you know, the good thing is I had the emergency fund in place. That is what it's there for, is for these little, well, not so much little, but these unforeseen or unplanned for expenses that crop up once in a while. And thankfully, as a result of having the emergency fund there, I don't need to change my investing behavior. I'll be able to continue as I was, and continue on my path to FIRE. Guys, with all that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the content. If you do find it interesting or useful or even entertaining, and let's say you want to continue and follow the journey towards FIRE. I'm on a roughly 8-year FIRE journey. We're coming to the end of the first year, and as you can see, at this moment in time, the actual return on the portfolio is negative. I would have thought that once we start to get a little bit closer to the 8-year limit, that will be different. This year has been impacted by the war in the Ukraine in particular, and also by inflation. And those are the two main reasons I think that the portfolio value is currently less than what it was. But in fact, it's not less than what it was, but it's in, the return is in negative territory as opposed to positive. So yeah, it's that this is what happens. Markets do go through difficult periods. Other times they completely crash, as happened during COVID, and then hopefully the rest of the time they are performing as we would normally expect and providing you with a good return on your investment. So guys, have a great end to your day, and yeah, as I say, if you want to follow the journey, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be made aware of new content, hit the bell, and if you liked it, give us a like as well, a thumbs up. Cheers.